All right. Hey, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to Free Base Watch List, where we look at stocks that our community is trading. We then post that watch list, an updated version, every morning before the market opens. So click the link in the description or in chat and don't miss out on another opportunity. All right. So let's jump right into it. We normally start off with the SPY. That's the S&P 500. A big red day in the markets today. Across the board. So we had a pullback in the market. We had this low of 455. I believe it was 455.30. Yeah, exactly. And that was actually into the close. So you had a huge sell-off after this morning bounce, but we lost that 466 level last night, and this morning we had this pretty big gap down, a small bounce at the open, but then a sell-off throughout the rest of the day. One of the things that happened today was there was a Fed committee meeting, a Fed Finance Committee meeting, where Chairman Powell as well as Janet Yellen, who's the Treasury Secretary, were both kind of on the podium there, getting grilled by some senators and congressmen, just in relation to the overall market and some of the things that are coming in the near future with the finances of the U.S. So one, the debt ceiling is kind of coming up here, where they extended the debt ceiling to be raised, and so that's going to be a topic for over the next couple of days, where they're going to be kind of figuring that out. And we're assuming that they're going to continue to extend this for probably another 2 weeks. But the first thing that Biden wanted to address was, one, extend the debt ceiling, the raising of the debt ceiling, and then two, get the infrastructure bill underway. So that $1 trillion infrastructure bill has been approved, and so it's going through. And the next is the debt ceiling that needs to be addressed. The expiration is this week, so there's a potential for a government lockdown, and so there's a lot of fear in the markets. But the main catalyst right now is the new COVID variant that is Omicron. And basically, we have Pfizer, Moderna, Novavax, as well as a couple others, Johnson and Johnson, and a couple others that are really working hard on this. And the consensus right now is that it's not as deadly as, let's say, the Delta, but it's all kind of being analyzed right now. And so we're in good hands. However, again, there is some turmoil in the market. So we again hit recent all-time highs, so there's some pullbacks from that front, and then with this new COVID variant, you have some more volatility. But nonetheless, our watch list did really well today, so we're going to jump into that. But just really quick, the level that we're looking for on the SPY, which in after hours market technically closed at 4, but the after hour session is done at 8. So we do have some bullish activity into the close of the day at before 8 p.m. And so we're back around that 460 level. We want to stay in the 460s for now, but we could easily continue to pull back. One, we're hitting the middle of the week, and it can get kind of dull in the markets on Wednesdays. So we're going to watch this pretty closely. But the 460 level is pretty critical, and so tomorrow, as long as we don't pull back too much here, we're looking at maybe a bounce off of 458 and move back up into the 460s. But again, whichever the market goes, our watch list is designed to take advantage of upward movements as well as downward movements. So any direction the market's going, we make money. So all good. But we just want to keep everyone updated on that. And as far as the daily chart, doesn't look good. What's happening is it looks pretty similar to the other pullback that we had in September. So we're kind of sliding here. But again, we anticipate a bounce. The level to watch here is 453.61 to the downside, and that's kind of what will kind of confirm that downtrend where that previous resistance is supposed to act as support, and if that breaks, then we're going to have a little bit more of a downside move in the market. So 453.61 is kind of the line in the sand for the SPY right now. But so we'll watch out for that. And let's get into some of the trades from today. So we're going to look at some of the stocks that we had on our watch list over the past couple of days, and also some of the trades that we went into. And then finally, we'll talk about some of the stocks that we have on our radar. So first, let's talk about Apple. So Apple hit new all-time highs today. It happened in after hours, which is okay. But this was on our watch list a couple times, and we actually caught both of the biggest moves in Apple that we've seen in probably almost a year. But initially, the 150 level was on watch, and Apple broke out above that. So, again, congratulations to anyone that took that trade. This was about a week and a half ago on Apple, where we had it on a watch list. It exploded. It hit these new all-time highs at 165, and then pulled back. And naturally, right after all-time highs, you typically have some pullbacks, especially on a stock as large Apple. And one thing formed, which was a falling wedge, and it wasn't as clean of a wedge as you would like, but again, just with some of the issues with the debt crisis, as well as the new COVID variant, there was a lot of sell pressure in the market, and so Apple did pull back slightly. However, it recovered in a pretty big way, and that's by making new all-time highs. It was into the after-hour session, however, it's still really bullish. But we had Apple on our watch list yesterday, and so it performed pretty well. So we had it yesterday before the market opened. It was around 159, which was actually the level of our previous target. And Apple did pretty well throughout the day yesterday. Went from about 159, the 159 level, to a high of 161 and change. And we talked about this last night. We talked about how we expected this trend to continue, and interestingly enough, the market pulled back again in a major way, as you saw, but Apple stayed strong, right? So a lot of bullish activity. There's a lot going on with Apple. The biggest catalyst being the autonomous vehicles, so the Apple Car that's coming soon. And it's Apple season, right, from when they recently released their newest phone to now holiday season, where Apple products from the computers, MacBook Pros, iPads, etc., are some of the biggest gifts during the holiday season. So really, really good move out of Apple today. So congratulations to those that were still in this trade from yesterday, because again, we hit new all-time highs, and so we anticipate a slight pullback, but a pop in the morning. So that'll give you a chance to potentially take profits if that's what you want to do. But again, Apple, really, really nice move today, and it literally went in the opposite direction of the market, which is super, super nice to see. But that is Apple, AAPL. All right, next, this was on the watch list this morning again. This is Lucid Motors. So we've been having some continued strength in the EV market. Of course, Tesla's kind of been leading the way here, but you have a couple new players alongside Lucid, that being Rivian, as well as Fisker. Fisker's kind of a lagger, just in terms of price action, and they've diluted a couple times, but again, that's another story. But we've traded Lucid for the past couple weeks, and we've been fortunate to catch some really nice moves. But this morning you had a really nice pop. So again, we alerted this first thing in the morning before the market opened, and that was around that $54 level. and you had this nice break and rip to $56. Our target was 57.22. However, again, the market pulled back pretty hard. So whoever kind of saw this top here took profits. I know a couple of our traders did really well. Typically with these morning spikes, you're not looking for much after 10 to 10:30 anyway. But again, if your entry was here at the open or even a couple minutes into the market, once you saw all this chop up here, again, a lot of people took profits near these highs. And one uh, obvious level for traders is the volume weighted average price, and that's the blue line here. And so when it broke down, that's another area where people would typically cut if you're playing the upside, right? So it didn't bounce, and again, the market was pulling back. So some numerous signs, and plus we alerted everyone that the market was pulling back. So that's usually the cue to take a closer look at your trades. But again, it was on the watch list this morning, and really nice move. And if you had the right strategy, the right strike, you made pretty good money. So congratulations to everyone. Next, this morning we had PFE as well. So this is Pfizer. Pfizer recently hit all-time highs at 55.70. So you had a natural selling off, as well as again some selling pressure in the market yesterday, and today we put on the list as a bounce candidate, and it did exactly that. So some profit taking at the open, bounced off of this $52 level, and almost to the penny, we had it at 51.92. It hit 51.91. So exactly right, and it bounced and kind of held and consolidated into the close, but it had a low of 51.91 and a high of 54.45, which is a pretty big deal for a 4 billion share float company, right? So again, great move, nice bounce. COVID is obviously the biggest catalyst for them, but the thing that we always remind people is that Pfizer makes other drugs besides vaccines, right? So they're always going to have other news catalysts as well as products coming out in their pipeline. So again, it's a pretty strong stock, and it's finally since that consolidation that it had around $40, finally broke out of that and kind of hatched, and now Pfizer is actually a pretty decent swing. So this was a nice bounce out of Pfizer today. So again, congratulations to everyone that took advantage of that trade. Next, we'll talk about Matterport, MTTR. So this has been on our watch list a couple times over the past week or so, and the first time it was back here. Well, actually, we started trading this at $19. So anyone that's been sticking around, Matterport's now at $32, but we've been trading it since 19. And the interesting thing about it is that it's now considered a metaverse play. So it's a super interesting stock, and that's also why it popped up on our radar again after some bullish sweeps and this break of this bull flag or falling wedge, and had a really nice couple of days here. And so this morning we put it on the list again because again we saw just massive sweeps coming in. Had this nice spike to 34.85, and again with the market kind of just pulled back, but covered most of that move, and is theoretically still consolidating right here in this channel. So it's holding pretty nicely. We do expect some more upside to this, but it just hit all-time highs today. So you want to just kind of just be cautious. But after that push, it could have been a couple different trades you could have played it, right? You had the first morning spike, the sell off to low of day, which was around $30, and then a nice $2, almost $3 bounce from there. So a lot of different ways to trade this, and again, this is why we put it on the list. But we do expect some more upside in this. price target is around $40, but it's not going to go there right away. So, but definitely pay attention to MTTR, that is Matterport. All right, let's jump into some other trades that we took today. We had Netflix on the watch list today. So Netflix started out pretty nice, right? So we were looking for the break of this red line here, which was around the 672 level. So we got the nice spike. Again, we alerted before the market opened. Nice spike out of the gates to 675. Small pullback, and then the squeeze to high of day. But again, the market started to pull back. So we actually cut the trade at the highs. But for example, it was about the 60% win on this trade out of the open. And so again, congratulations to everyone that took that. But we definitely banked and took our profits and moved on. But it actually would have been an incredible short. But we were kind of tied up with some other trades. One being Rivian, which we shorted today. I know people aren't going to love to hear that, but it is what it is. So Netflix, really good move. We're going to look for some bounces out of it, but again, with the market pulling back, this isn't really a priority stock right now. There are a couple catalysts that are lingering. One being some of the profits that they made from the Squid Games. The whole ordeal with the licensing and merch and all that stuff. So, we're definitely going to keep this on watch. But right now, we kind of have technically a head and shoulders. So by about $2 here, we have a confirmed head and shoulders here. So here you have the left shoulder, the head, and then the right shoulder, and we can talk about in more detail what that means, but essentially that's the design of it, and then the actual theory is the breaking down of this previous trough here, and that's started. So we're going to keep this on watch, of course. We have a level here to the downside of around 620, 622 that we're watching on Netflix as well. So if we continue to see some pulling back in this, we'll probably look to for another short setup potentially. But we do like it to the upside, and so again, let the market shake out here, and as it's moving up, you'll start to see some strength. But also, again, take a look at our watch list. Make sure you subscribe, and that way you'll know when we're ready to trade. That's typically when the stock is ready to go. But that was Netflix. That was on the watch list this morning, and really good trade to the upside, but even better trade to the downside. So if you caught that short, congratulations. Next, we have PUBM. So Pubmed, this has been on the radar before. It's a former runner. This thing went from $25 to $77 in about a month and a half at the beginning of the year. So a really, really interesting stock. Now, we had it on the watch list before the market opened. Again, we saw the sweeps coming in. You had kind of ascending support here, and it was holding up all day yesterday. So we put it on the watch list for this morning because we know what this thing can do. The target was 43.93, and we kind of stopped short of that, but an incredible move out of the gates. You had the opening at around $39 and a nice pop to 43.65 out of the gate here, and that was about 10 minutes after the open. So we took this trade after we saw we got confirmation, right? It popped to about 41. We took a couple scalp trades to the upside, and it worked out really well. So we called out the live alerts as we took the trade. So those that saw that and took advantage of it as well, congratulations. And again, pull back with the market, just like everything else today, except for Apple. And that's PUBM. We do anticipate this to move back up, but again, one thing that did happen on the chart that kind of messed things up was the spike. So, the activity of us being in it and it doing what we expected, it actually kind of ruined the chart a little bit, given that you have almost a doji here, and also it broke this previous peak, which is exactly what we were looking for. So, now that that's happened, it kind of can be a little bit more of a challenge to find the next trade. So we're going to be, pretty cautious on this moving forward now that that pattern is kind of disrupted. But it's still kind of consolidating, and as long as it doesn't break down below 3036, then we should still see some upwards momentum on this. So that is PUBM, and again, that was on the watch list this morning. So next, we'll talk about ISPC. This is iSpecimen. They have been squeezing recently. Massive bounce yesterday. We talked about this. We traded it. We've been trading it back and forth for the past week or so since it's been squeezing. But this morning, we took a quick trade on it. We were looking for a continuation setup. We got some bullish activity in the morning, pre-market. We saw a couple spikes here before the market opened. So it was on the list this morning, and we caught this quick trade right after the open it was the break of $24. It got really crazy trying to break that $24. So it broke it, it pulled back. We picked up some shares right around 23.17, and then caught this spike back over 24, and we cut the trade. This all happened in about 2 minutes. So and we did our best to alert it. We did, and that was around 9:43, I believe. Yeah, 9:43 when this all took place. And then we also told the chat where we were looking to get in, and we were looking for the break of $24. So again, congratulations to anyone that took that trade and made some profit. And next, like we mentioned, Rivian, RIVN. So we shorted this when the SPY was dropping. I think it was this first drop here. Yeah, so we caught a really nice short. It was around the 119 level, but we shorted it a couple times. We shorted it around 120, and then again at 119, and we caught the big drop to around 116. So then after the 116 drop, we took another short from 116 to 115, and yeah, really good trade. And we caught that drop. The reason why we were looking to short this is this level here at 114. So 114 has been a level of strength mainly from yesterday. So we saw it kind of curl underneath it, and we took it short, but we kind of broke even, and it ripped to new highs. But we saw that level as another potential level that kind of it gravitated towards, and since it bounced off yesterday, we were kind of cautious on that, but we knew it was a level that it would test. And again, with the market pulling back, that was a perfect opportunity. So we caught a bigger short than potentially yesterday on this, and it, with the velocity that it dropped, it was a really nice trade. So, and again, we alerted that. We also, anyone that was in chat yesterday knew that we were short biased, and so we took that trade and did really well. That was RBN. It bounced pretty nicely, so this is also something that's going to continue to be on watch. And again, we'll play things with upside or downside, as you guys know. But Rivian was a really nice trade today, so we'll see what happens throughout the rest of the week. And then another scalp that we took today was something that we've traded and made bank off of recently as well. This is another recent runner, GGPI. and we caught this rip here out of the open to that 1450 level. So let me see here. Yeah, it was actually a quick scalp. So I think, I mean, one, we were in a couple other trades first thing in the morning, so you can't catch them all, but we do try to alert for anyone else that's paying attention to take advantage. But we caught this scalp off of this bounce, so it popped up on the radar as it broke 1425, and then it bounced to a high of 1450. So we did take a quick scalp here, and then of course faded kind of with everything else. But that was GGPI, and then another notable one, which is something that we added to today, which is DKNG. And DKNG, DraftKings, of course, we started a position on this yesterday, and it was around the $35 level. With the market pulling back, this is actually a long-term swing for us. So we were actually talking about it potentially dropping a little bit lower. We're looking for a low of $30. But we started a position at 35. We added today on this dip, and it recovered, and now we're actually green on the trade, but it doesn't matter. We have pretty big hopes for DKNG. One, we've been trading it for over a year now, and we're pretty comfortable with the name, what they do, and the sports seasons are all kind of in full effect right now. So we're going to continue to monitor this trade, but we're anticipating the first target being around $45, but our final price target for DKNG is $60. When is it going to get there? We're looking for basically the end of the first quarter, so next spring, essentially. But it's going to be a lot of trades in the meantime. This, again, I mean, we're an investment company, so we do have our long-term portfolio, and this is one of them, one of the stocks that are in there. So that's DKNG. But yeah, it was a nice dip buying opportunity, and we're actually green on the trade, so that's cool. But nice opportunity in here. So just wanted to update everyone on what we're doing with DraftKings. All right, now let's jump into a couple stocks that are on our radar as of today. First one is KOPN. So KOPN, really nice bounce off the lows. A lot of volume came in into the afternoon. Again, as the market's dropping, we like to see stocks that are moving up in the other direction, which is awesome. But this is allegedly, or rumored to be, a metaverse play. So we're going to be looking into this over the next couple of days, just to try and find a position in it. The chart isn't that great, but it is a former runner. So we're gonna do some more due diligence and look at this a little bit further. But we do want to see this break $6. But the first level is 572. So if that can break tomorrow, then we'll probably be taking a closer look at starting a position in it. That's KOPN. And then next is actually a former runner as well. This is VIR. They just got a crazy price target of, makes me laugh when I say it, but $200. So it's basically a 10x from where it was about a week ago. So it was around $30. Well, not 10x, but it had about $30 the other day. It's almost doubled now, hit a high of 52.85 this morning, and it sort of broke down, right? But it just dropped under VWAP. But if you look at the overall trend, it's holding pretty nicely. And so with a lofty price target like that, we do expect more upside really soon. So the first level that it really needs to break is the $60, and that will help squeeze this thing back towards the those next psychological levels, right? 65, 70. Because again, with a $200 price target, one, it's going to take a very long time to get there, but two, you want to see big chunks getting eaten up as it goes up. That just kind of confirms the trend and keeps it bullish. But that is VIR. So we'll be watching this pretty closely tomorrow. So that's a freebie. You'll probably see that on the watch list tomorrow morning, because again, as the market is dropping, this thing doesn't care. It's still going up. So that's the price action we like to see. But yeah, so that is it for FreeBase watch list. Thanks guys for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Make sure you follow us at FreeBase on all platforms. Again, the link is in the description for our watch list. Again, we post it before the market opens every day, so don't miss out on another opportunity. I mean, it's we'll be there. We'll be there to help guide people. And as we build out this community, we have a lot of success stories already. But at the same time, we've been posting this watch list for over a year, and we receive messages, DMs, emails almost on a daily basis, thanking us for what we do, and we appreciate all you guys for tuning in. So again, this is FreeBase Watch List. Thanks for tuning in. See you guys soon.